Hello and welcome to Becoming Abundant podcast. I am your host, Anna Maria Jinga, and this is our side of the internet where we get to speak about true abundance, personal authority, emotional optimization, and the pure power of alignment, all while living in the presence and guidance of God Himself. I am a holistic coach and mentor focusing on healing the emotions keeping you stuck so that the mind and body can align and live a limitless life. We all have a mission and a purpose, and I am here to help you unchain from what's been holding you back to actually live in your full potential. Think of it as transformative triggering in the best possible way. The time has come to live a life you love. Let's dive in. Hello, my darlings, and welcome to another amazing week of Becoming Abundant podcast with your host, Anna Maria Jinga. Oof, my darlings, I have a very fun topic for today. But before we dive in, first of all, if you're tuning in on YouTube, say hello to Laura because I couldn't possibly record anything or do anything today without a fluffy, needy baby in my arms. I guess if I ever want another baby, this is great training for continuing to do work despite having needy babies around. So, I want to share with you guys that we are gearing up to come really, really close. I feel like 2 or 3 weeks until we're reaching our mark of our first year anniversary of Becoming Abundant podcast. We made it happen. You and I all made it happen. I am so in awe of this amazing community that we got to create this past year. We got to start having some really beautiful, inspiring, and so transformative guests on the podcast. I'm very humbled by this whole experience. And I remember the first episode that I put out, which was a quick introduction of what I want this space to look like. And I was met with so much love from you guys. So much love, so much excitement, so many celebrations. And I knew that it wasn't just because, ooh, it feels validating that you guys are excited for a podcast, but I also knew that this kind of thing, this kind of energy that we're creating together is needed in the world. So I'm really, really happy and grateful we get to make it happen together. And thank you. I get to love you and thank you and have all of this amazing experience happen because of you. So thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you for the love. Thank you for all the cuddles and all the messages and all the love and the questions and the celebrations and the transformations that I get to read from you guys. It's very inspiring. So thank you. I wouldn't be here without you. And you guys know that it takes a village to make anything happen. And we're building this community together. The world needs more freedom in the minds and hearts of people, more freedom to become self leaders, more freedom to live in the abundance and provision of God, more freedom to grow, more freedom to heal. And we get to put it all together. So thank you so much. And on that note, the topic of today, and if you follow me on Instagram, you know I've already spoken a little bit about it in a reel, but I feel like we need to dive even deeper into it, is my cup runneth over. And in this reel, I share that we don't always have a full cup with goodness. And it's not either the cup is full or the cup is empty. The cup sometimes it's full of goodness and sometimes it's full of poison because the cup is always full. The cup is by default full of something. It's not empty because we're still alive. The cup couldn't be possibly empty because we're still alive, we're still doing things, we're not disconnected from life itself. We are in it, we're here, we're making it happen. So whenever I hear now my cup is running dry, I ask myself, and then I ask the people that share this, what is actually going on in your cup? Where's the leak in that cup that is actually dry? Because when we share things with people, when we hold space, when we respond or react, when we live life with another, with friends, with family, with anything, we do not pour from an empty cup because there wouldn't be anything to pour. Would you agree with me on that? I know I would. The thing about it is, we don't realize that the cup is always full, so we blame it on being empty, when in fact, we're just empty of love. We're just empty of self worth. We're just empty of prioritizing ourselves. We're empty of taking care of what's important and what needs to be a non-negotiable. We're not empty because there's always something going on. I remember when I was away from God and shutting him out, I felt empty many times. But it was actually, now thinking about it, it was me realizing that I wasn't empty. I was actually full of the wrong things. I was full of lack. I was full of hatred. I was full of self pity. I was full of a lot of victimhood. I was full of so many heavy burdens that I was taking on from other people around me. I was full of maybe even demons. I remember the episode. If you guys watch Chosen, the Chosen series is absolutely fantastic. If you haven't watched it, I recommend that you go and watch it. It's now on Amazon Prime. It's fantastic. Season 5 is finally available in Canada since last week. So I get to sit down and start watching season 5. So I'm very excited for that. But in season 1, episode 1, we have Jesus walking up to a bar where Mary Magdalene is there. She was calling herself Lilith. She was calling herself Lilith because she was empty, because she was feeling like there was no hope for her anymore. She was calling herself Lilith to hide away from the truth of who her true identity was. And I remember this so well. Jesus comes to her. He says something in the lines of, "This is not for you anymore," because she was drinking a lot just to numb away the pain. And she walks out with her cup in her hand, and he follows her and speaks to her, "Mary of Magdala." She drops her cup. She turns around. "What did you call me?" She says. And he says, "Mary of Magdala, I have called you by name. You are mine." And that moment is the moment when he puts his hands on her head and all the demons go away. And her cup starts filling up with the Holy Spirit. Her cup was never empty. Her cup was full of demons. And it made me, many times I've watched that episode, dozens of times. And even that whole scene in itself, I watched it and saw it, and it resonated so deeply with what I have experienced, because the noise that I've lived with, the chaos that I've had in my own cup, was there filling my cup to the overflow with hatred, with lack, with victimhood, with sorrow, with pain, with deep depression, with deep hatred about everything that I was going through, because it was all that was filling my cup. But my cup was never empty, because if it were empty, I would have had space for God. But I didn't have space for Him because I was constantly accepting all of that negativity. But if you remember from episode 3, when my head hit the waves in the ocean during my new baptism and everything went quiet, it's because God took over and filled my cup. He went fully in, swept every crap that I had in my cup out, and filled my cup with Him. And it's been quiet since. It's still quiet, FYI. It hasn't changed because now the quietness became a choice. Now the quietness for me became a sense of belonging, a sense of safety, a sense of I get to choose what I put in my cup from now on, because I didn't even realize that I was choosing what was in my cup, and it was not something good. So when I thought last week, this week, it's all a blur. Time is an illusion. When I thought when I created that reel about your cup isn't empty, it's just full of poison, I remembered how much I didn't even realize that my cup was full of poison until it wasn't. And the moment I sat with that, I realized that I need to share this with you guys. Because how often do we find that we don't know how busy or loud or crazy it is around us until we get to a quiet place? Have you ever found yourself turning on the fan of the microwave when you're cooking and it's loud and you're like kind of getting overstimulated and it's really annoying, but you're still there and you're kind of getting frustrated because of all the noise, and then you're done cooking and everything's ready and you're like, let me turn this off, and you realize suddenly that it gets really quiet, and the only thing that was making you so angry and so frustrated and so overwhelmed was the noise of the fan. And in that noise, you have put all of the other negative things that were happening around you and within you because of that. But you didn't know that if you turn off the noise, everything else would go away as well. That was my case with my cup that was full of crap until God cleaned it up, pushed it away, and then I realized that I always had a choice of cleaning it up myself. So, self-care tip number 1 is check in what is in your cup. And how do we check in what's in our cups? Is sit with yourself and do an internal audit. See how you respond. Are you reactive? Are you angry? Are you too sarcastic that it's a little bit too like a scorpion stinging? Once you do that audit, sit with yourself and realize what is actually causing all of this. Is it something within your control, or is it something outside of your control? The next thing you get to do once you realize all of this is, what am I feeling? Am I feeling lack? Am I feeling tired? Am I feeling overwhelmed? Am I feeling a little bit uneasy? Am I feeling like something is off? Am I feeling like I need more attention? Am I feeling like I need some quiet time? Am I feeling like I need to get out in the sun? Am I feeling like I need to rest and go inside? What is it that you're feeling? And when you see what you're feeling, you then make a mental note to give that to yourself. Give the thing that you need to yourself. Give yourself the blessing of rest, the blessing of sunlight, the blessing of a quiet moment, the blessing of companionship. Whatever you need, give yourself that. Because that is when you start filling your cup with something good. And the more you fill your cup with something good, the more good you get to pour out of your cup. It's like that image if you saw the reels going on Instagram, TikTok, whatever you're watching, where people pour dark colored liquid from one cup to another, saying, oh, this is generational trauma pouring from one to another, to another, to another, until it comes to you. And then they start pouring clean water in that cup. And whatever's going on in that cup is being cleansed by the clean water until the water inside of that cup becomes clean. It's the same thing here. If your cup feels heavy, if your cup feels dirty, if your cup feels yicky, it means that you need to give yourself and gift yourself more of the good. Self care is not selfish, it's selfless. Self care is important because it trains your nervous system that you are safe. Self care is also creating space for the Holy Spirit to have a healthy, stable, strong temple to live in. Self care means that you get to filter out all the noise and get to take away the veil that is keeping you away from hearing God's mission for you, God's word for you, God's passion for you, God's purpose for you. All of the negativity that you're holding on to, thinking, believing, accepting that it is your right to hold on to every negative thing that has happened to you like it's your life depends on it. You are right to feel that way, but it is not yours to carry. Put it down. Let me say that one more time. You are entitled to see it, to recognize it, to witness it, but it is not yours to carry. Put it down. You do not need to carry all the hate. You do not need to carry all the victimhood. You do not need to carry all the weight of the years that you've experienced survival mode. You get to make a clear decision now of doing better, of wanting better, and that starts with you. I read this quote the other day that said, train your body as an athlete would, because God is not putting you to run a sprint, but a marathon. Isn't life like a marathon? And wouldn't you agree with me that the moment you train for a marathon, it's really important for you to be really strong and very balanced and very grounded and well fed, well hydrated, well rested, have your muscles strong, have great flexibility, have a clear, focused mind, have a peaceful heart, and have a nice pep in your step. Would you agree that that would make you a really good marathon runner? I would. So the thing is, the second thing you get to do in your cleaning out your cup is asking yourself this: what do I actually want in my cup? Going back to me, I love to have in my cup humor. I love to have in my cup compassion, caring, really great listening ears. I love to have in my cup hobbies that make me feel good, hobbies and experiences that make me feel happy. I love to be in charge of my happiness. I love to be in charge of the way my mind thinks and goes straight to positive things instead of negative. I love that I have control over my thoughts, that if a negative thought comes up randomly, I would say, for you, you felt lonely. It's okay. Go sit next to the positive thoughts. You're going to feel better. Go there. And then I'll go get back to my positive thinking. I remember, and I have a very fun little story for you guys to share. I remember last week or 2 weeks ago how much negativity was being poured into me when I was back in Romania, when I was trying to be positive and I was met with, you're also positive and bubbly. Chill out. Life is not that positive. Why would you believe all of these positive things? Aren't you a realist? Don't you see reality? I lived with that until I was 27. I lived with that actually until I was 30 because even though I moved to Canada when I was 27, it didn't leave me. It was just there constantly. And I got to be reminded of the mentality of the culture of the Romanian people a couple of weeks ago when, and I laughed because it's so funny how it happened and how people sometimes function. It's fantastic to see from the outside now. Um, Trump, the brand Trump, the whole brand Trump, posted on their Instagram about how there is a new tram tower being built in Bucharest, Romania, my hometown. Three things came out of my mind when I saw that. Oh my God, that's so exciting. Two, that is really cool for Romania to be finally put back on a map so people know that Romania is a very beautiful country with many opportunities. And three, oh my goodness, there's going to be so much more business travel, business opportunities, lots of growth, lots of building back the economy of Romania just because of this one thing. That was my belief. And I commented, oh, this is so exciting in my hometown. This is a great and fun reason to go back and visit maybe sometime soon. That was it. That was my comment. I got mm, over 25 comments from Romanians on Trump Instagram page by Romanians saying, no, don't come. Maybe just keep your Trump and yourself there. You don't need to come here. We don't need you here. And one of the guys commented, what? Let me think exactly how he said, oh, yeah, I think you're joking, right? And I asked him, because my curious little self came up, and I asked him, why do you think I'm joking about this? He replied, because this is, I don't know, disgusting, weird, whatever. Romania doesn't need this right now. Keep your fascist there. All of the crap you could possibly imagine about who I was apparently supporting because of my positive comment that, oh, this is a great reason to visit my country and maybe I'll sit in a very fancy hotel. That was my perception of that. He went on to comment that I don't know what I'm talking about. And I said, hey, I understand where you're coming from, but if you let one person make you feel like so much hatred and not see the good in it, you're forgetting that God has all the power over all of this, and you can have a choice to not let a person make you feel so bad about all of this. The man continued, the boy, let's be serious. That was an adult man with a boy mentality. He continued commenting that you are nowhere near being realistic about this, that whatever you believe is false, that God is not paying my taxes, that um, Trump and politics and religion should not be combined, that you're supporting a fascist and you should not come home. And I'm like, what in the God's green earth is going on? And then he continued saying, you should check your privilege before you talk like this. And because I am petty, I have my petty moments because God knows me. And we had a lot of good laughs about this. I went on and made a reel about this where I said, yes, I am checking my privilege because my privilege was built on my own sacrifice, my own decisions, my own movements, my own healing, my own beliefs changing so that I can become a sovereign person and not be dictating my state of mind and my state of heart and health by someone else's whatever they're going for doing. So, yes, I am checking my privilege and I am very happy with my privilege. Maybe you should check why you do not have one. He went, spied on my profile, spied on my community profile, left a horrific comment about me in my reel. That was not, I didn't tag him, I didn't comment anything about him per se. I just mentioned to my audience that, hey, yes, we need to be aware of our privileges and realize that other people's hatred has nothing to do with us. So maybe the people that are seeing this, that are being triggered by this, should check why they're triggered by this. He told me I'm delusional as F. I'm not saying bad words here because I want a clean podcast, but he spoke really bad and negative words when I didn't say anything but God is sovereign over everything and you have full control over how you get to see life. That was something bad. That was something negative. That was something that triggered him to feel very attacked, that I do not know what I'm talking about, that I'm delusional, and how dare I come and try to bring freedom to the suppressed Romanian people. How dare I? It was ridiculous. It was hilarious. That reel performed really well because apparently a lot of other people supported what I was sharing. And it also reminded me how hard it is for people when we are so caught in the deep, dark poison of our own cups to even believe that there's something good out there. But the thing is, it's still our choice to pour out that damn poison and put something good in our cup. It's still our choice to see a Trump Tower being built in a second world country as progress, as business, as growth for the economy, instead of seeing it as a fascist taking over a country that has been corrupt and led by fascists and communists for the past 35 years. But we don't speak about that because we do not want to see the poison in our cup. We just want to see that the other person's green grass is too green. You are faking it. You do not know your privilege. The thing is, we forget. We are so brainwashed in forgetting that we have a choice to pour out all of the poison in our cup. So, my loves, with all of this being said, I invite you to check your cup and check your cup diligently. See what's in there, see how you're responding. Become so aware of yourself that you will not allow yourself to step out of your integrity. Allow yourself to know that you can lead with integrity, that you can lead with passion and power and positivity. And there's power in the progress of healing. And you can lead with your goodness, even in the places where people see evil. Because I can tell you for a fact, maybe the people that poured all of their hatred upon me because I was excited for something, maybe they needed to pour that out because it was too overflowing for them. The poison was too much. So they needed to pour out somewhere else. And where could they pour but in someone that had a very big overflowing cup of goodness? The thing is, my cup is so full of goodness that all of their poison was just washed off. Because it's not just me pouring into myself, it's also God. And God pours his Holy Spirit every morning. And every morning and every night, I sit and thank him for blessing me with a clean cup. Because the more I take care of my clean cup, the more I get to pour into you guys. And wouldn't you agree that you and I both need a lot more full, love filled cups out there right now. So I'll leave you with that. Thank you so much for tuning in. I cannot wait to hear what you get to share from these spaces of contemplation around your own cup. And my darlings, I pray a full blessing of miracles, abundance, and a cup runneth over with love and compassion for each and every one of you. And make sure you share this with someone that needs the reminder that it's our choice what we have in our cups. I love you. Thank you so much. And remember to stay salty and bright. Bye now.